You might have just ping them in the chat throughout, and I normally go through and answer them sort of all at the end. Hey up, Lily, how you doing, mate? But yeah, about 1 minute away. Been another interesting little week, to be honest. Plenty to talk about. Right, boom, here we go. So it's now 8 o'clock. This is when I start my Wednesday Waffle each week. The Wednesday Waffle was an idea that I stole off my fiance, something that she does with her girlfriends each week. They sort of send each other a couple of minute voice notes each week. And I decided to sort of steal the idea a little bit and use it as a business update. So last Wednesday, jumping straight into it, I came straight on after filming with the CAPB Podcast, which is a podcast that interviews current and ex-soldiers, so veterans, running businesses. And sort of Friday, I got home from work and this had arrived in the post from the guys at the CAPB Podcast. Cool little coin. And then it says around the outside, showcasing veterans, the podcast run by veterans. The podcast run by veterans, showcasing veterans. So that was pretty cool. And then they sent me a little bag of coffee from the Contact Coffee Co., which I thought was pretty bloody nice. Unfortunately, it's ground and I have a bean to cup machine, so I just need to change the filter heads and sort that out. But anyway, Thursday was a bit of a nothing day. Was just having final conversations with the manufacturer before going up there on Friday, which was an extremely busy day. I started off in London, my normal morning routine, getting up at 4, having my cold shower, doing a bit of stretching. Because if I have a couple of days off stretching, I'm at a point now I do myself in. Although I was doing a back stretch this morning and I've flipped and pulled something. That's why I've propped myself up on these pillows that I'm on at the minute. So then Friday, having been into work, I got straight onto the M40, went up to Birmingham and met Pav. So I picked up the Sherpa Gilets, got this one small so I could take it out with me at the weekends. Although this is quite tight on me because it is a small and technically it's my fiance's, but I've stolen it and been wearing it the last couple of days. So picked up the next batch of the Sherpa Gilets, which have been going really well actually. And then I'll be going to collect these potentially early next week, most likely late next week. So they'll be getting posted out. So anyone that's pre-ordered, they'll be coming out next week. We also spoke about the female cut gilets that we're going to be doing, again in lovely 100% British wool. This is coming from a factory called Hainsworth. And if you've been following the page for long, you will have seen the story that I put out probably just around about a week ago, when I put out some different colours and then put the votes out. And 5 colours came out on top with sort of 30, 40 votes each. So we're in the process of getting the first sample of the female cut ones done. And they're going to be pretty bloody nice. And the first peaks of them, I mean, let's be honest, I'm probably going to show them off on one of these in a couple of weeks' time, maybe 3-4 weeks or something. But then we're doing it, we've got a video, 3 days of media booked at the back end of July in Bath, Hinton St Mary, and then at the Rundle Cup. So we'll be getting some really nice professional media. Because again, something that keeps coming through on the brand is the pictures not doing the items justice. Prosperity Chiropractic, I could probably do with some of your business today. I was just saying before I did me back in this morning. But yeah. And then we also spoke about some little slight changes. So these zips, bloody love them. And then I saw some other zips there, which are like metal, and this like loop is slightly thinner. I don't know. He basically said to me, he's like, you do realise they're going to be about an extra £3.80 each for the order. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. I like them. They look brilliant, and they will look really good on the lamb's wool and these boiled wools. Premium product needs to have just all the finite details absolutely on it. I'll show you something on this which I really love. Where's the label? So you've got your care label in there, and then on the back, I don't know if you can see that, but what that says is made in Birmingham at Pav's third generation family run factory, where his mum will always greet you with a cup of tea. Because I just thought, you know what, I want to have that put in there because his mum is always offering me a cup of tea when I get there, and I just think that's really nice. I thought it was a nice little touch to add in as a bit of a thank you to Pav and his family, basically, up there at the factory. And then what else did we talk about? We spoke about the flat caps because the original guy that was making the flat caps, he runs his own tailoring shop. So when he's doing them, he's also doing all his other work. And he basically says, look, I don't mind doing these, but I'm never going to be able to do like massive batches. We come to the agreement that he's going to supply me with the patterns, and then I'm going to get them up to Pav, and he'll be able to do larger scale runs of the caps, of which, they're all the matching tweeds. So you can get the vintage Arthur or the vintage Henry, which is the collar and the back facing on the Suffolk lamb's wool, which I think is pretty bloody smart. So yeah, so we sort of spoke about all them little bits, and then I flew straight back down to Windsor. Please, can you let me know if I will. Usually I answer questions at the end, skiing hells, but fire away. Yes, that is literally what I was just talking about. So you'll be seeing the first ones of them, like I was just talking about. On Friday, we had the first initial design meeting about the females cut gilets. Although these are unisex, they've you can see the sort of channel there. They've got adjustable at the waist and at the hem as well, so you can cut them in at the middle and the bottom for fit, which is pretty bloody smart. And then so after leaving the factory, came back to Windsor, packed the van. So I took some of the stock out and then put in the table, the gazebo, the mannequins and all that stuff. And then we kicked on Saturday morning, early doors, come down, fed Tommy, and got off up the road to Dingley Races for the Fitzmartin Milton meet at the point-to-point, wasn't it? Or Fitzwilliam Milton meet for the point-to-point. And there we did quite good, actually, considering all the other exhibitors, of which I bought something that's in this glass right now off the guy next to us. He said it was absolutely dead. All day he's like, yeah, it's flipping dead. It's rubbish. And I thought we did quite all right, to be honest. So I was really happy with the fact that he was saying it was dead. That we did quite good. So I was really happy with that. Why so spenny? Don't know what that means. And then we came back, and so I then booked to go to, and we met loads of really great people as well there, to be fair. I just loved chatting away to people most of the day. So when we actually made the first sale, I was already having a good day before we'd even sold anything. So that was pretty cool. And then Sunday, we'd booked to go to Solihull, British event in one day in Birmingham. So basically I went from Friday to London, up to Birmingham, back to Windsor, and then we went up to Leicestershire. Well, it was just outside Market Harborough, and then back down to Windsor, then back to Birmingham. So Ethan, mate, I'll get to that at the end, but in short, British manufacturing, mate. We've all become used to fast fashion items where, you know, if you're having one of them smocks made in China, the person that made it probably would get about 10 cents. Yeah, and that's something I'll talk about a bit more at the end as well. And then, yeah, so we went to the BE at Solihull, and a lot of people had said to me, look, you just don't even bother going to BE events. People aren't there to buy these one-day events. They're there to support people that are competing, and my lord, weren't them bits of advice correct. But me, a little bit with this. You know, the whole thing, I've had to learn it all as I've gone along. You know, I didn't go to university and do a fashion degree or a business management degree. I've learnt all this myself as I've gone along. And this was one of them things I was like, right, you know what, while I'm still in, I want to go find this information out for myself now, while I'm not having to take a wage from this company yet. So it's a bloody good thing I did because, yeah, they were right. So we ended up, we stayed and watched a friend compete called Fern. We watched her do a show jumping, and then we packed up and got home early. Yeah, that was pretty much that. And then the sort of Monday, Tuesday, I mean, what we've been doing, sourcing some fabrics, speaking to Hainsworth. Sort of had me first, I wouldn't say dispute, but basically I had a salesman for a company that I'm not going to mention them, but basically they supply something to me, and I was needing something relatively quickly in a small number with a larger number, about 250 of them made in the next couple of weeks. So I mean, if you know that I've just had 250 Gilets made, you could probably guess what that might be. I've just knocked over TikTok. So yeah, so needless to say, they lost my business. Getting one word replies from a salesman when I'm saying to him, yeah, I need it X amount of inches by X amount of inches, and then him emailing me back like, well, how many millimetres is that? And I'm like, well, it's X amount of inches by X amount of inches. Oh, we only work in millimetres. I was like, right, well, it's... And then another thing, it was... because of the size of the board that they need to cut the box from, it can only be a certain size or whatever. And I said to him, the old boxes were a certain price. And then if they came down to the next board size down, then they would drop in price dramatically, to the tune of £4 or £5 each, dramatically. And when I'm ordering 250 of something, a saving of that is clearly pretty bloody good. And then he kept saying to me, well, how big is your product that needs to fit in it? And I was like, well, look, I just need to know the largest possible size that you know, the box can be before I get a price reduction. He's like, well, you need to tell me how big of a box in it. I was like, look, he's like, because we need to know if your product's going to fit in it. I was like, you just tell me the largest size box you can make, please, and then I will decide if my product can fit in there. And it kind of just went a bit back and forward like this, to the point I was getting like one word replies from him. And then I tried to ring him. They said he was on another call. I left a message, didn't hear back. Rang again, and he's like, oh, yeah, like a couple hours later. And I just thought... So in that time, I got hold of another company. They were really nice. I explained to them my situation, and they sorted me out. So, brilliant. So needless to say, when their managing director got hold of me today to follow up, and then I explained to him why I'm not using their business, again, he probably... Well, he was a little bit frustrated. To say the least. So yeah, and then today I was up in Norfolk with a family member who's up there temporarily. Well, I say temporarily, she's going to be up there for most of the summer. Body parts slightly less. But anyway, And then while I was up there, I spoke to the Hainsworth, who are going to be supplying the wool for the females cut gilets. And I got that pro forma in. So that is. And then, I suppose. And then also been finalising the show calendar for the next couple of months. So that'll be getting posted out soon of where I'm going to be. A lot of British show jumping, couple of BE international events. Well, not British eventing. It's not BE, is it? If it's international, it's FEI. Fédération Equestrienne Internationale. But so a couple of them events. I also just had a phone conversation in the van on the drive back, actually, with a distributor who is potentially going to be stocking the Brecon smocks. So that is the week as a whole. And then I suppose last piece is the Brecon smocks. I'm putting them on a summer sale. So Brecon 70 and you'll get 70 quid off them. That's pretty flipping buzzing. Get your savings in the summer and then you ain't paying full price in the winter. And then these boiled wools are going to be posting out mid to back end of next week, along with the Suffolk lambs wool, which all got collected after I've now found up it's milled up in Yorkshire. So the lambs will get sheared, taken up, probably... Anyway, let's not talk about how the lambs wool comes from the little lambs, because it ain't cheap for the lambs. Anyway, at least nothing is wasted. It goes up to Yorkshire where it's milled and then produced into the rolls of fabric, and then it's gone then down to Birmingham to Armoury Lane, which is flipping out, I forget the name. What was the name of the area in Birmingham we went to pick up them fabrics? Where the Peaky Blinders are from? Yeah. It's gone. But anyway, we went. It was Armoury Lane, Blackheath, Smallheath. It was Smallheath. So it went from Suffolk to Yorkshire to Smallheath to Oldbury or Oldham. Oldham? Either way, other side of Birmingham. So that is the week. Love the maroon as it's unisex. I'm thinking size S might be okay. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, novice Frisian, if you get it and you're not entirely happy, just flip and send it back and I'll cover the cost of the return. But I guarantee you will be happy. They are flipping incredible. I mean, they are flipping gorgeous. But again, don't take my word for it. Get one, and if you don't, then you can send it back and I'll cover it. But you'll love it. Stuff made by the people in this country. So I'm just going to go back and look at some of the questions now, if anyone's pinged any. Skiing elves, we spoke about the female cuts. You live and learn. Yeah. Makes you feel old, though. Yeah, I don't know, I'd just say inches. Looking forward to seeing a female cut game fair. So skiing elves, basically I'm still serving in the military right now. And I only just decided about 2 weeks ago that I'm leaving the army. So it's all been a bit, this year it's going to be getting out to some shows. But next year is when I will plan my year far better. And I'll have my calendar published probably mid to late January of exactly where I'm going to be going. Oh, they're absolutely amazing. It's a great product, I reckon. Thank you so much, Dominic, mate. Trying to avoid you having to pay postage. Novice Frisian, honestly, that kind of thing just doesn't matter. If you get it, but you're not entirely happy, you're like, I could do a size up or size down or whatever. Have we ordered these in extra small? Not yet. It's double XL we've ordered them in, isn't it? But yeah, I'm willing to risk that for the sake of that you might be happy with it, and if the size is right, then that's you wearing my product. With all the people that you may see. Yes, basically, I'm going to be getting out. I'm going to try, I know this is bold, I'm going to try and hit as many county shows as I possibly can next year. So I'm literally going to get the map of England, look up each county, Google when its county show is, get them all roughly on a calendar, and then try book as many of them as I can. Look at the eventing calendar, look at the British show jumping calendar, look at the point-to-point calendar, and plan my year, basically, so I'm out as many places as I possibly can be. Been living in the Sherpa, brilliant piece of kit. You wait till you get you one of these, Lilia. Right. So, somebody, yes, I am still serving, mate. Now then, mate, spoke to a guy I know, he knows you, he was, yeah, cookie in the mortars, eh? Flipping heck, if the walls could talk in the mortar lines, they'd tell you a flipping couple of things about that guy. No, mate, spoke to a guy, yeah, mortars, coastering, guards, yeah, I know, cook, why so spenny? Right, okay, so Ethan, to speak to you about that. So, when you have a product made in Britain to China, for a start, we pay our seamsters and seamstresses, or majority seamstresses. Seamster is the vernacular for a male seamstress or manufacturer person, which I didn't know, which I learned through this. Anyway, interesting fact, or probably not. So we pay them a fair wage. We unfortunately have net zero initiatives in this country, which means the electric is so much more expensive because we can't produce enough clean energy. So we buy it at a premium from the continent or wherever from countries that don't have net zero initiatives. So they hike up the prices and sell us the electric at an absolute massive profit. So our energy bills are much more. We have higher taxes. Business rates have been going up year on year. So it costs more to make in this country. But we do have, clean working conditions. We have an NHS here. Our workers get pensions in China, Pakistan, Turkey, Bangladesh, all these places, that is not the case. So that's why a lot of these bigger companies, you get in jackets for 200-300 quid, and the profit margins on them are incredible. But somewhere down that line, some human beings have been, taken advantage of, basically. The last couple of weeks, I've been onto YouTube a lot and watching documentaries, Vice, that sort of stuff on just the fast fashion industry. And I never knew there's a desert in Chile that quite literally has... There's a valley that just has mountains and mountains and mountains of just discarded clothing, where basically the high street brands, they'll make 10,000 units of like a t-shirt or something and have it out on the shop shelves in weeks. And because their markups are so massive, they're paying literally tens of cents for t-shirts, for instance, as an example, and then it goes on the shop shelf for like 15, 20, 25, 30 quid. If they order 10,000 of them and only sell flipping 1,000, 2,000, they are so massively in profit that as soon as the sales on that item start slowing down, they get them out and they ship them to places like Chile. Now, the reason Chile is being used as a dumping ground for the big high street brands, among others, is they signed a free trade agreement and people in their government were like, yes, send us all of your stuff. So these big high street brands pay companies to just get rid of it. It then gets sent over there. The the companies in places like Chile get paid to get the stuff and dispose of it, and it just gets drove out into the desert and dumped. And then little microclimates, microeconomies have formed where people go there and spend their lives just rooting through all this stuff to sell some of it. But then loads of like the chemical wash off when there are any patches of rain, when there's droughts, they're setting on fire, and it is just an absolute catastrophe. And that's the back end of the fast fashion. And then if you go at the front end of the fast fashion industry, I mean, just go on YouTube, type in fast fashion, see, you know, child labour factories, basically all over India. I think Pakistan's quite bad for it, and then clearly China, Philippines, or maybe not Philippines, but I mean, I don't know, probably, I genuinely don't know, but definitely places like China. So because that we are not doing any of that kind of thing, and the fact that I can drive to any one of the factories that I use, I mean, I don't like driving to where the smocks are made because it's about 3.5 hours away. It's a 7-hour round trip before I even stop and say hello. But yeah, I can drive to all my factories, you know. I know the faces and names of the people that are doing all this for me. So that is why they are so spenny, as you so put it, Ethan, there, mate. But again, you're getting a product that is made with, you know, by well-paid, highly skilled workers. So yeah, so that's that. That is this week's